Good morning. For today, we are going to discuss about the principles of design. The principles of design, sometimes commonly known as the principles of art. And for us to better understand these principles, we are going to review the different elements of the art. So let's begin. For the elements of the art, basically, we know these elements as the basic components artists use to create works of visual art. The elements are the line, shape, form, value, texture, space, and color. Let's begin with the line. A line is a continuous mark made on a surface by drawing instrument. The drawing instrument can be a pencil, crayon, or anything that will make a line. Do you see the line? Now, let's go to shape. A shape is an enclosed area determined by line, value, texture, space, or any combination of these elements. Remember that a shape has two dimensions. It has only the length and the width. Do you see the shape? Now, let's go to form. Form is three-dimensional and encloses space. Remember that form now has a depth. Do you see the depth, the length, and the width? With these three factors, it is now called form. Let's continue. Value. The value is the one that changes from dark to light. Areas used to create the illusion of three dimensions on a two-dimensional surface. Like this drawing or painting. It is only two-dimensional, but it looks three-dimensional because of the use of the value. Let's proceed. The other element is the one that refers to how a picture surface feels. Okay, that is the texture. It could be smooth, rough. Okay, the next element is the space. Space defines the open areas between, around, or below an object. Positive space is filled by a shape or form. Negative space is the open areas around or with a shape or form. Remember the positive and the negative spaces. See? Space also is important in the elements of the art. And now, let's go to the color. A color has hue, intensity, value. The color wheel is the tool used artists to identify the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary colors and the group color scheme. So, the color makes the arts more lively, isn't it correct? Alright, now we're done with the elements, and now let's go to the principles of the art or the principles of design. Let's begin. What is the principles of design? This is the ways artists organize the elements of an art in works of visual art. They are the balance, emphasis, harmony, variety, movement, rhythm, pattern, proportion, and unity. Let's start with the balance. The balance is how parts of an artwork are arranged to create a sense of weight or interest. The common types are the symmetrical and the asymmetrical and the radial. Let's look. Okay. How do you observe balance in the following picture? Now, let's go to emphasis. When an artist arranges a composition to place a greater attention on certain areas and objects to create feeling in a work of art, this could be considered a focal point or the emphasis. What is the emphasis on this painting? For the first painting, what do you think is the emphasis? The second painting and the last painting, what is the emphasis? Now, let's go to harmony. Harmony is when an artist combines elements in a work of art to stress similarities of separate but related parts. Okay? So from the word harmonious, harmony. So you can see we have a lot of different elements available on this picture and on this painting. Now, variety. Variety is the principle of art that combines contrasting elements in a work of art to create visual interest. Contrasting elements are like dark and light, rough and smooth. Contrasting elements are the elements for the color, like the green and violet, the red and blue, the black and white. So when you combine these contrasting elements, that is what we call the variety. Now let's go to movement. It refers to a way of combining visual elements to move the viewer's eye through the piece or create a sense of action. See? With the following elements being used like on the first picture, you are trying to trace the line. And when you trace the line, the artist guides you to his or her artwork. The rhythm, combining elements through repetition, alteration, or progression of a art element to create movement in an artwork. So if you have a rhythm, or rather if you have a movement and you repeat it, that is what we call the rhythm. See? Next one is the pattern. A pattern is a repeating elements or a combination of elements in a planned way. See? When you create a pattern or when you create a repeating element, you could create a pattern like this one on the picture. The proportion, the relation of one object to another in size, amount, number, or degree. When we say proportion, it is something like when you have one on the left, you should have on the right, and they should be proportion to each other. They should complement each other. You see it? The works of Leonardo da Vinci is a proportional drawing. Now, let's go to unity. Unity is how the elements and principles work together to create a sense of oneness or wholeness in a work of art. So that is how unity works. So those are the principles of design. Don't be confused. When you see the principles like movement and pattern are just the same, it's fine, it's okay. For as long as you combine the elements, you are creating the principles of design. That's all for today. Thank you and God bless.